I took one look at this thumbnail and I asked myself, what is going on within these pony stables, bro? That's crazy. The other dudes in the back, like, man, I ain't into all that. Y'all want to put me with a girl, and you got Mr. I like myself with a 6 pack, 8 pack of abs. And what the hell is this man doing on the ground? And we got Puerto Rock on the side looking like an episode of Black Man with his Puerto Rican flag. What is going on in the 60 frames, no lag podcast, man? Because it seems like y'all lagging in the brains now. Like, this is crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? And you got this dude looking at Puerto Rock like a scrumptious snack. Man, I don't know what's going on with you gamers, but the dude with the sunglasses in the back, he like, I ain't in all that. Y'all gonna have to put me with a female, okay? I don't know what y'all be doing in all free time, but it look like they be going on their knees for Jim Ryan. Like, that's crazy. It's gotten to the point where PlayStation fanboys, like, I don't even want to say it, but it seems like they're on that reading rainbow.
When I say re-strategize the gas games, why not focus on shit that is either unique to PlayStation, right, or completely different? And I think that's what made Helldivers successful, because there's really no other game like Helldivers that are
Earth Defense. What are you talking about, bro? Like, it's so funny that you guys want to sit there and talk about how Helldivers 2 is so unique when Earth Defense has been existing way before this game. Like, I mean, watch you people say, oh, there's really no comparison games. I mean, one has insects and the other one's got aliens, bro. It's the same exact thing, bro. Like, I don't want to hear it, bro. Because as much as you people want to keep damage controlling for Helldivers 2, 95% of the population have already dropped that game. So what are you going to say now?
out there. Like, you can't say, this is a Fortnite clone. It is not. This is not an Overwatch clone.
It's an Earth Defense clone. That's what it is, man. Earth Defense Force, man. Look at that game and look at Helldivers 2. Matter of fact, Earth Defense Force is even better. Okay? That's why people continue to play it, and nobody cares about your little Helldivers 2, man. Yeah, it had a little resurgence because of these PC gamers trying the game out for themselves. But look what happened. 95% of the population decided to drop the game, and now you're left with an exclusive failure.
There's not even a Call of Duty clone. Like, there's literally nothing. In fact, like, I think Craig said it best. It's a Stormtrooper game that's better than the actual Stormtrooper game, because even the Stormtrooper game, the one that they have, is not, Stormtrooper is more like a fort. You said it. Okay, George, yeah, thank you. You said it, right? Because the actual Stormtrooper game is completely different, because if you keep making games that have similar style or even some type of similar aesthetic, all right, or you have to really deep dive and explain.
And that's the problem with gaming, man, because back in the days, there used to be so many different clones of something. Dino Crisis was like a clone of Resident Evil with dinosaurs. I mean, and we still enjoyed the game. We have gotten to a point where people can't play another game if it plays remotely similar to something else. You know what I mean? We can't live in the days of having Battlefield, Medal of Honor, and Ghost Recon. We can't, because people are going to sit there and see the similarities and be like, you know what? I think I prefer this. And also, too, games play differently. I think a lot of people are not understanding. We can all sit there and say, well, gaming is better now because it's more accessible. But like I said, the one thing that differentiated these games back then, like Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six, or whatever, was the fact that the mechanics was different. A lot of the mechanics of these games play entirely the same, which causes the gamer to say, well, okay, this is essentially the same game. I mean, you guys want to sit there and say, well, the old games, they had clunky control. Well, the clunky controls is what gave it its unique appeal. That's why I never cared when people complain about, oh, the fixed camera angles in Resident Evil. It's what made the game different. Now we got a Resident Evil that plays like every other game, Evil Within, and it's stupid, man. As much as you gamers want to complain, that's what you guys have been doing. Oh, those games are too hard. I can't see the enemy on the other side of the screen. Let me do it from a third-person perspective and have it be like a Gears of War game. You guys are at fault for this, because you wanted games to be easier and accessible, which they have done, which caused games to lose a lot of its mechanics. That's why old games are very hard, because they have very different mechanics, even though there's not that many there, but you have to play the game with a different mindset. I can't play Ninja Gaiden on the NES and think that the things that I've learned in that game is going to work in Contra or any other game before it. Those are mechanics. These are things that you have to learn while you're playing. And to me, gaming is a learning experience. I'm going to tell you something. If video gaming was back then the way it is today, I wouldn't even be a gamer. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a type of person that likes to stimulate my mind. So if I'm playing a game and I feel like there's no skill, there's nothing to really learn or whatever, then I lose interest quite quickly. That's why I was so fascinated about arcade gaming, because arcade gaming was hard, challenging at first, and you got to get these high scores. You got to really work for these accolades, and even if you're not successful in doing that, the sheer reward of and getting that adrenaline rush of trying to push through these stages is what caused me to want to get through these games. The problem is a lot of gamers don't have that anymore. They die and they're like, oh, I'm done with this game. This game's trash, man. And, but then if the game is too easy and accessible, oh, this game plays like something I've already played. You can't win with these casuals. What do you casuals want?
To people, well, it looks the same, but it's really not. Maybe give you a 25-minute presentation.
Why is he shaking his hands like that?
People, right? Mm. And that's where I think they really, and I get the whole, you gotta trip, to ride a bike, you're gonna fall, scrape your knees. But the way these
trust me, you ain't even doing that with video gaming anymore, man. Video gaming has gotten so easy, bro. Like I would tell people, man, this was blood, sweat, and tears, man. Now you ain't even got to put that anymore, man. You could already be good at the game. I'm surprised they still forcing all these tutorials down y'all throats, because there's really no reason for it. The game already speaks for itself, man. You play Call of Duty, you get your loadout, you aim around the corner. You can camp for all you want. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I tell people that health packs was invented in first-person shooters, so when people would camp around walls, they would have to eventually go out for health. But you guys liked the regenerative health. You liked the casual aspect of first-person shooters, which caused all these other first-person shooters to evolve and to change the way they're operated, right? And as you can see, they're way more popular than they have been before. So I'm just telling you, man, that is the history of, video gaming right there.
These guys act like one little thing, oh my God, it's over. Shut everything down. It's over. Everything's over.
But we haven't seen that yet.
Like,
that's
this
why
is
I actually think
ridiculous.
this is great.
No?
I think this is great for the fan base. You want to see how Sony behaves when they don't have a success. We want to tell.
Oh, so Sony's not successful then?
They're just going to give up on it immediately, or they're going to be like Ubisoft and literally stay on it for years until it finally...
Yeah, it seems like they already gave up, man. How many PlayStation games have shut their service down, man? Killzone 2 and 3 should still be alive. Matter of fact, we should see that game being playable on the PS4 and PS5. How come a lot of Sony's big blockbuster multiplayer games no longer exist anymore, man? There is somewhat of an audience that do want to see these games, but unfortunately, Sony sees that, okay, there's not enough people willing enough to support them. Mag 2 on the PS5 would be huge for the PlayStation 5 platform. 256 players online versus each other. Like, that would be huge. But the problem is, and I'm going to explain something. When Mag came out at a time where there wasn't really that many games, like you guys have mentioned, like that. Now we got games like Warzone where you can have 100 players on the map. You see, this is kind of where Sony didn't really capitalize on a lot of the multiplayer games that they had. They had the foundation. It's just the problem is when these games failed for the first time, they just gave up. Instead of just saying, you know what, let's keep going. Let's keep pushing this out there. Because let's be honest, if Mag did that, then most people be like, oh, snap. Mag might have had a battle royale before all these other games. They were already doing 256 players online on a PS3, mind you. But the problem is, there's so many games doing it now. There's so many games doing this now. So I guess Sony don't really have anything anymore.
Right? Take a look at Rainbow Six Siege when it first came out. It wasn't a bad place. Ubisoft stuck to it. The other one, what was that medieval one that they had fighting?
So now we're arguing the fact that Sony's got to stay strong with their games, and the problem is they don't, man. The only people that do that is Microsoft. They stay strong with Halo. Oh, Halo 4 is trash, Halo 5 is trash. Well, look at that. Microsoft stays strong with their franchises. Y'all want to look at the fact that, oh, Microsoft don't have that many consoles. It doesn't matter, bro. Because at the end of the day, when it comes down to managing what they have, Microsoft and even Nintendo are doing a far better job than what Sony's doing. Every time something's a failure from Sony, they give up. That's a problem. Y'all sit there and say that, well, Microsoft, you're going to go out of business. You really think that Sony's going to be able to manage all these type of games that Microsoft has, bro? They didn't even have the money to go out there and buy them. What makes you think that? See, the problem is they want Microsoft to go third party, but the problem is, think about it. If a PS6 or a PlayStation 7 comes out, and games become even more expensive. Can you explain to me how Sony's going to be able to fund their games, especially if their community is not buying them? This is what I'm trying to tell you. This is the problem, or should I say the inherent problem going on with PlayStation. Okay? It's just like with Dreamcast. It's like, yeah, we can still keep going against the PS2, but what's the point? We don't have as much money as Sony. We might as well just give up now, because people want to sit there and say, well, the Dreamcast was a failure. The Dreamcast wasn't a failure. It sold 11 million consoles in 1 year and 8 months. That is not a failure. That is not a failure. That sold better than the Wii U did. Okay? So for you people to sit there and say, oh, well, PlayStation is not going to be able to do a PS6, a PS7, or a PlayStation 8 because they don't have the money and their fans are not giving them the money to be able to do that. They're like, what, at $100 billion market cap? The only people that could do that is Microsoft, because they got $3 trillion. So if games keep getting bigger and badder, they have the funds to be able to do so. Sony don't. It's ain't about who's better. Like, I'm not even arguing who's better now. I'm just sitting there telling you the truth and the reality. Only Microsoft can carry this gaming industry. Nintendo, that's why Nintendo's like, yo, let's focus on low budget games. Let's focus on AA's, Mario makers, because they knew that with the way game is evolving, if they went down the route that Sony did with their PS5 and having better hardware, that Nintendo would probably be out of business. You're like, what? Yes. Nintendo would probably be out of business. Nintendo was smart by using low-end hardware, because by the time they get a chance to get to that level, people are going to flock to it. If we was already playing 4K Mario Karts, people were going to like, I'm kind of happy with this. Huh? I'm kind of happy. I don't see a reason to upgrade to the next Switch. You see? But since Nintendo got low-end hardware, yeah, we got to keep upgrading. I need to play Xenoblade 3 Chronicles with better frame rates. Now you have a reason to upgrade. Now you guys starting to get what I'm saying? Because that's the main argument that people are complaining about these consoles. What is the point of upgrading? These consoles ain't really doing that much that the previous... See how the question just answered itself? Exactly.
Like the Samurai versus the Viking, for honor.
No. Wait, what?
For honor.
For honor. Yeah, there we go. That one. Yeah, that was the way. It was terrible. And then they stuck with it until they found this fan base.
Well, like I said, man, maybe they need to acquire Ubisoft, man. Maybe you need some company that actually ain't willing enough to give up on their games.
He was the one that really put Xbox on the map. I mean, Halo was the reason why Xbox had a name, right? It was the key.
And look what Microsoft did with that one game. See, that's what you people don't understand. Y'all want to sit there and say, oh, y'all want to sit there and downplay what you. It's funny because you guys have Bungie and they're not doing nothing for y'all. But y'all want to sit there and downplay Microsoft's success with Bungie. Yes, Halo kind of helped push, what Microsoft wanted in regards to their Xbox Live. But guess what, though? Microsoft built on it, though. What do you people don't understand? They built on it. That's why they had Gears of War. And they had all these other multiplayer games coming to the 360 that the PS3 didn't. They built on what they had. Sony hasn't built on nothing, man. Every single one of my beloved Sony franchises is gone. It's extinct. MotorStorm, SOCOM, MAG, Resistance, Killzone, every single one of these games don't exist, bro. You know what I mean? And you guys want to call yourself real PlayStation fanboys, bro. Real PlayStation fans play Infamous. They don't play Spider-Man. Spider-Man has been available forever, okay? You guys need to cope now because y'all know y'all ain't got no more superhero games. So now you're coping for Wolverine and Spider-Man.
It was the key franchise title that actually made Xbox relevant. So how they didn't just simply give them keys to the Ferrari and say, hey, drive the fuck where you want, and if you crash it, let us know.
And the funny thing is, I heard Destiny was being developed with Xbox, and Microsoft at the time, which was a foolish mistake, wanted them to keep pushing out more Halo games. You see? It was an oversight. Microsoft didn't see that. Destiny could have been an exclusive to Xbox at the time, which would have been another massive multiplayer game for Microsoft. Okay? Like I said, a lot of lost opportunities. Even Sega, the same 2K games that you see today was once owned by the great Sega. So, like I said, misfortunes, and that's what happens. That happens a lot now. You know what I mean? Some people don't see it. Some people are like, oh no, we got to focus on what we have. And then guess what happened? Then it's gone, and then somebody else got it.
We'll buy you a new one. Destiny could have been an Xbox exclusive.
That's so crazy, bro, that I just was literally talking about that. And then bro, I be doing this, man.
For the Xbox One, period. That would have been synonymous with Xbox, right? So I think that's a Bungie strategy and stuff like that, right?
But tell me the Bungie strategy for Sony.
I think with Sony, I think Sony's number one concern, which I get it, right, is profit. They want that reoccurring revenue. All of them. The whole industry wants that.
And so how come when I say it, there's a problem? How come when I try to tell you that, guys, that you guys sit there and call my community and people like myself Xbox fanboys?
They love that idea where they could just work on one thing.
Which is funny because you want to talk about reoccurring money, but isn't Game Pass Ultimate that same philosophy?
Constantly get that revenue.
Which you don't like?
Just by providing updates.
Which is essentially what Game Pass Ultimate is. Updated games and gives you a reason to still want to support. You know what, bro? Go ahead.
Providing new content, providing new material, right? But
sounds like Game Pass Ultimate to me.
They never have to worry about the development studio pitching a whole new brand new game from scratch, and then hopefully that brand new concept or game will bring in, revenue, will be successful. They like the idea of just that one game and perpetually make money off it, and they're good. Now that studio could just stay there perpetually.
And that's the problem with Grand Theft Auto Online. That's the reason why y'all were like, we don't see in the Grand Theft Auto 6 is because they were trying to milk that game to oblivion. I mean, at this point, Grand Theft Auto Online is a live service and subscription game. People spend a lot of money on that game.
And, whatever the frequency of sales or money or revenue transactions, they just keep getting it.
Oh, this man's yawning. Put the rock. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm yawning because I like myself and what you're saying is boring.
But do they... How can I put
Because I like myself.
Where is that fine line of, hey...
All right, bro, I'm done. Right, ain't no fine line going on. You ponies are just going to have to admit that you lost and Sony ain't got no games. It is what it is, man. It's plain and simple, bro. Because what Sony's got going on, yes, Sony's hardware sales is great, man. But I'm saying Sony's not capitalizing on it the way that they want to. You feel what I'm saying? They're not capitalizing on it because you fanboys ain't buying their games. It's gotten to the point where the PC gaming community's got to save it. And even then, they're going to get tired of it. Yeah, they might be a little happy that they can see some of their games on their platform. But, man, PC gamers are some of the most stubborn group of gamers that you want to imagine. Like, they were about to drop Helldivers 2 all because they didn't want to make a PlayStation account. I'm telling you, you're dealing with the wrong crowd of people. Microsoft is fully aware of that. That's why they're like, we can't really charge them for online, but we can at least charge them for games. That's where gaming is going. To be honest with you, console gamers are the ones really getting the short end of the stick this time around. And this is all because you people wanted to chase hardware and not chase games. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. And like I said, take care. Peace out.